I wasn't too impressed with the win last night for the Celtics for a simple fact that Chicago stinks. They did beat the Celtics earlier this year. They were without Zach LaVine last night. So as far as, a bounce back against a team that's underperforming after a loss against the Rockets the other night, I was just glad that they won the game for the simple fact they're 14-1 now after a loss this year. Where they have their struggles is after a win. So I'm interested to see how things work out on Friday night when they take on New Orleans. They do have a interesting road trip coming up. And I wonder when they're going to start giving some time off to Jason Tatum before the All-Star break. But last night, it was all about Kristaps Porzingis, who by right now, I'm telling you, he's the best Celtic on the team. Since he's come back, the numbers are staggering. I'll give those to you coming up in a second here. But just looking at Porzingis, where he was, where the team was, and they've needed him over this stretch where they've struggled. Right? The Celtics win after the Houston loss. They're now 6-7 at home in the last 13 games. Dominant performance. 122-100. Again, not overly impressed on the night, but defensively, they played better. And, they shot better from the court, from the field as well. Jaylen Brown had a big night. 28 points, 10 of 18 shooting. Derek White got it going again. He had 22 points. Jason Tatum had 16. The Celtics shot 18 of 44 from beyond the arc. 41%, over 30 assists. That's how they win. I mentioned they're 14-1 now after a loss this season. The star was Kristaps Porzingis, a season-high 34 points. He shot 10 of 18 from the field. That's 56%. He tied a career high with 8 made three-pointers. He had 26 points in the first half. He got out to a huge start. He also had 11 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 assists. He played just 33 minutes last night. And there is this number that I saw out there where he joined Antoine Walker in franchise history as players with 33, 11, 8, and 3. So, I mean, that's big company when you join the Wiggle. You know what I'm saying? Hit a franchise record for a 6'10 or taller guy from beyond the arc, 57% from 3. It was his first 30-point performance of the season. Most points he has scored since last year, 2024. But I wanted to just bring up some things on Porzingis that are important. In January, he's shooting 51% from 3. Look at the way the rest of the team is playing right now. This is the best month he's had in his career. He's shooting 42% from 3 for the season. Of 79 players who have taken 70 or more threes just in the month of January, he has the third best percentage right now in the NBA. Here's the other positive development when it comes to Kristaps Porzingis and his positive play. Their starting lineup is finally playing to its potential. Make no doubts about it. The Celtics have struggled, whether it's been home games, whether it's been close games, free throws, defense, you name it. At least we've seen potential when it comes to their starting 5 being back together. A 40-point win against the Warriors. Fine. Last night, a 22-point win against the Bulls. I know that they should beat these teams off talent alone, but seeing how they all play together is what it's all about. The first 10 games together this season, the Celtics went 5-5 with Porzingis back. The last 5 games together, they're 4-1. They were a -11 those first 10 games. Their last 5 games, their net rating's a +22. So clearly they're starting to gel a little bit better. Kristaps Porzingis' first 9 games of the season, he was shooting 33% on 6 3-point attempts a game. In his last 13 games, he's shooting 46% on 5 3-point attempts a game. There's success here. It's now starting to gel. When the team started to struggle, you could point to Porzingis as the problem. Now I'm looking at Porzingis as the guy that's keeping him afloat while they're going through their struggles right now. He's the one that's calling him out. After the loss the other night, you get Jaylen Brown out there saying, wow, we didn't think Dylan Brooks would hit 10 threes. Well, I don't know. I thought you'd play better defense where he wouldn't. So at least there's some accountability when it comes to Kristaps Porzingis. But what I like is how he gets out to fast starts. In first quarters this year, he finished the quarter last night with 15 points on 4-6 shooting, 3 or 4 from downtown. In January alone, he's averaging almost 9 points per game in the first quarter. It's 6th best in the NBA. He's shooting 66% from the field, 68% from beyond the arc. Those are the highest percentages for any player right now in the NBA. The other thing is he's a rim protector. You saw what happened late in the game against Houston. Right? You had to have Luke Cornett on the floor because of the foul trouble. He was a key factor last night. The Bulls shot 42% in the restricted area last night. And in January alone, opponents are shooting 59% within 5 feet when he's in the game. So the first quarter starts just like he did in Game 1 of the NBA Finals last year. It's what set them out to become frontrunners and win the game. He has been a factor during their struggles right now. The other thing is the combination of Porzingis and Brown. It does make things easier for Jason Tatum when he sees the double teams. Through 40 games played this year, I do want to throw this in there. I'm hard on Brown at times because I feel like he doesn't play to his potential. But there is one thing that's standing out that shows improvement, and he's been asked to do different things. Through 40 games played, Jaylen Brown already has 18 games or 5 or more assists. Last year, he had 20 total in 70 games. So he's starting to pass the ball more. And I think we saw the other night against Houston one of their biggest issues. If Jason Tatum gets blitzed on a double team, he then passes it to Jaylen Brown, who went 0 for 5 in the final 8 minutes of the game this week against Houston. No Porzingis in the game. That can't happen with Porzingis in the game. Now when Brown gets it, he might even look inside to Porzingis. They're a different team. And quite frankly, Porzingis and Brown have a really good chemistry. I want to see how the Celtics carry this momentum now. I know it's just a win against the Bulls, nothing to be all crazy about. But Porzingis is playing his best basketball that I have at least seen in his career. The numbers show it. And slowly, the starting lineup is getting better. They take on New Orleans on Friday night. They're 3-9 after a win this season. They have 7 games to go before the All-Star break. And this road trip's interesting. Philadelphia, Cleveland on the road. They return home for a matchup with Dallas before they take on the New York Knicks. That's a game that people are going to circle. One other thing I wanted to bring up before the break here. I just saw our intern, Josh. He's pumped about that Knicks Celtics game. I have to get this one off my chest. There's a story, a gambling story, so I'm going to give you the take off the bat. Terry Rozier, former Boston Celtic, being investigated for irregular activity during a game, would you say? And I'll get you the exact quote of what he's being investigated for. And it's funny to me because Rozier was a pretty good Celtic, right? Had a really good run. Remember that run to the Eastern Conference Finals, everybody? They lost a Game 7 to Cleveland. How did Terry Rozier play in that game, everyone? Go back to that box score. Go look at it. Because, unfortunately, I call it the Jeff Green game, where they let Jeff Green beat him. No. Now with the new report about Terry Rozier, go look up the box score in the 87-79 loss in Game 7. Terry Rozier started that game. He played 36 minutes. Listen to this shooting line. 2 for 14 from the field. 0 for 10 from 3. 4 points, 3 fouls, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He was playing at a level at that time. He was ascending. He was about to get a big-time contract. And in the biggest game, when it mattered, against Cleveland, LeBron, how did he show up? 0 for 10 from 3. So if you want to talk about games where Terry Rozier may have point shaved or somehow didn't play, or maybe was just giving something away, I'll always go back to that game, damn it. Investigate his ass, because I'm still pissed about what happened in Game 7 from years ago. 0 for 10 from 3, 4 points. Look back at that game if you're going to look into it as well regarding Terry Rozier. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. We'll get Skaz's thoughts on that one, because I've been sharpening my pencil on that one for a little while now. If you like that clip, check out more videos from my show, The Joe Murray Show, here. For more Bruins analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.